August 4th, 2017 changed my life forever. My then wife at the time had just come home from going out for drinks with her coworkers. It was the first night she's been out by herself in a while. I had gone out that night with my buddy to go to the baseball game. Prior to this, we had been fighting. We've had our ups and downs throughout the years. We had been fighting a few weeks prior and were very tempted to end it. We were just not happy. Things weren't going very well. I remember I basically said I was going to move out, which I think probably was more to see if she would call my bluff. I wanted to see if she would even care if I left. So we kind of made it work out for the couple of weeks. She kind of guilt tripped me, saying she didn't know what she would do without me, very much laying it on me that if I left, that her life would be over. And that kind of brought me back in. That's kind of a pattern that we had over the years. I never felt like I could leave. If I did, I was worried what would happen to her. At the same time, I also felt like if I did leave, what was I going to do? I didn't think anyone would want to date me, so I didn't want to lose the only girl that said she loved me. So, flash forward a couple more weeks. It's her birthday now. She comes home. We had been fighting. Kind of repaired it a little bit, but deep down, I think we both knew it wasn't the same. And she told me that she had made out with her coworker. At the time, I was pretending to sleep. Excuse me. Pretending to sleep because I didn't want her to think I'd been waiting up for her all night. But she came home late, and I was kind of suspicious of that. And I know she felt very guilty about it. She told me right away, which I'm grateful for. But at the time, I didn't know how to take it. I was very emotionally insecure. I didn't know how to communicate my feelings. And I remember I got out of bed and didn't want to talk about it. I didn't know how to feel about it. I obviously felt very hurt. I remember specifically thinking that I got to do something immediately to start making some changes. I'm not going to be able to attract a partner the way that I'm at right now. I don't know if I want this to work out. So I went downstairs and immediately started working out. She came down there to talk to me, but I wasn't ready to talk. So she ended up having to go sleep in her car. She didn't want to stay at the house that night, which I don't blame her. I didn't want her there either, I guess. But I remember I felt bad about that, like I had failed her, but I didn't know how to talk about that. So the point of this video, I'm just going to go over my story about how dating in my 30s ended up coming about. I was 35 when we got divorced, overweight, didn't know how to socialize, addicted to video games, addicted to bad foods, addicted to just being lazy, really. This kind of all went back to me as a kid, though. I can remember, even in third grade, I remember having friends that would have their girlfriend. And I was always jealous, and I always wondered why no girls liked me. What was wrong with me that I couldn't get girls? I was very needy and seeking validation. And this didn't change overnight. You know, I grew up with this all the way up until, I still probably have some of the issues now. But flash that forward, middle school, I remember girls that I would like or have a crush on, but I would never say anything to them. I never felt worthy that I could talk to them. If I did, I felt like I would get made fun of, or I would detract their value in some way. Like, why would you want to hang out with Johnny? He's kind of a dork. So that happened through middle school, high school the same way. Still never fit in. I was the nice guy. I was trying to be friends with girls, hoping that they would like me that way. You know, help them with their homework, talk to them about their boyfriends, just being a very, girls could see through that, you know, just pretending to be their friend so that I could maybe date them someday. This never worked out, so I started to to get into drugs and alcohol, thinking, all right, I don't know how to socialize, but if I start drinking a lot of beer or smoking weed, that at least separates me from somebody else. And I was more social when I was drinking. But even then, that didn't lead to anything. I had some fun at parties. I made some new friends that I've never even talked to since because they're probably in jail or I don't know what. They don't have the same goals I do anymore. So that led to, through high school, still no girls. And reflecting after shooting these videos, I kind of saw some patterns. The very first girl that I slept with, she did all the work, she made all the moves. I wasn't a leader, I was just a follower, not very masculine. And then my first girlfriend in the Air Force, had we not had to go to different Air Force bases, I'm sure I would have just settled on her because she would have been the first girl that dated me and that liked me. But that only lasted, 2 weeks until we both shipped off somewhere else. Flash forward, maybe another year, and I meet my ex-wife at the time. I guess at the time she was just my girlfriend. But she was the only one that showed me interest, so I went out with her. I remember the very first day that we got together, she said she wanted a boyfriend, and I didn't know what to think at the time. I was very hesitant because it seemed very fast, and there were some red flags with her. She had a lot of insecurities, just like I did. So I didn't know if that's what I wanted, but at the same time, I never had a consistent girlfriend. So I agreed to it immediately. And then after that, it was very codependent. She would get mad at me if I went out without her, if I had friends that she didn't, if I didn't call her every day, or if we didn't talk on the phone every day. She felt like I was either cheating on her or abandoning her. Same with me. If she didn't call me every day, that she was off doing something else or hanging out with somebody she shouldn't, or I didn't know. So that's kind of where all that started. I never improved any of this up until the time I got married at 23. So that leads into the marriage. I'm not really masculine. I don't know how to lead. I don't know how to provide. I'm kind of just a boy who got married to a girl in the military, So during the marriage, I didn't learn any of these skills. I just played video games, and I still just had that codependency. If she was upset, I would do whatever it takes to make her happy. I didn't hang out with my friends because she would make her jealous. I didn't go out of town because I didn't want to leave her behind. And this happened for the next 12 years. Gradually, I started getting overweight. I just became lazier and lazier. We would have our fun days together, but most of the time, I think we were just kind of coexisting. We weren't very happy. I saw a study today. I was watching a video, the CEO of a diary, or the diary of a CEO, and they mentioned that 56% of marriages end in divorce. And then if you account the 20% that are just staying together for kids or financial reasons, you're getting up to like 75% of marriages aren't really fulfilling, or, they're not working. So I definitely fit into that category. We were just together. A lot of it was out of fear, scarcity. We didn't feel like we would be okay without each other, or that we would find somebody else. So we did this for 12 years. Then that day happened, August 4th, and everything shifted. I had to make changes. I couldn't be the same guy I was. I started working out in the basement that day. I was obviously upset for many weeks. I was always wondering what she was doing, why she liked her coworker so much, if they were having sex. Was she gonna get married to this guy? Just all these negative thoughts. So for the first couple weeks, I couldn't eat. I couldn't really sleep. I was always worried what she was doing rather than focusing on things I could do or ways that I could improve. But after a couple weeks, I don't remember what it was, but something clicked in me. I remember hearing, you can't wait around for things to happen. you're not just gonna magically find the one. You're not gonna find that one girl. She's not just gonna come up and start walking up to you and tell you to take her on a date. So, still 35, trying to figure stuff out. Decided I was going to practice social skills. I started learning to talk to people, just everyday people. I didn't know how to talk to girls, obviously, but I could learn how to socialize with other people. I always thought you were just the way you were. If you were quiet, you were quiet. If you're extroverted, you're extroverted. And charisma is just something people are born with. I didn't know it until I seen some YouTube videos that, you could learn this stuff. So I started to take the time to implement. Started getting some practice, realized pretty quickly I didn't want to be in small town Wisconsin. There wasn't a lot of options, and I needed to figure out who I was. So, 35, trying to figure out who I am as a man. I decided to move to Boston. And in Boston, I was able to go out on the weekends, go meet new people. It's a bigger city, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of bars to go to. So I was able to start getting on dates, start meeting girls at bars. I started doing a little bit of online dating, and I had some successful dates, but I was still that needy guy. I still needed validation. I still wondered, was I good enough to be on these dates? I still wondered, is she gonna call me back? What is she thinking right now? Is this girl, am I gonna wanna settle with this girl? I still had that idea of, I guess maybe locking down somebody right away, which is interesting. In that video, they say that 86% of people who get divorced remarry within 5 years. And I was headed towards that pattern. I was headed towards just settling for another girl that would like me. But eventually, through just repetition and learning on YouTube and taking courses and getting mentors, I started to learn how to become an actual man. I would have boundaries now. I knew what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to keep improving. I wanted to, travel. I wanted to be able to go wherever I wanted. I wanted a girl that fit my lifestyle. I didn't just want to settle with a girl because I didn't feel I had any options. So still 35, I decided to move to Las Vegas, and that's where my self-development really started to kick in. I started hanging out with people that had the same mindset as me. They wanted to improve. They wanted to get this area of their life figured out. And we didn't want to just settle for girls. So started learning how to become a man, how to set goals, how to build a social circle with like-minded people. And I guess, over the years, I've just kept that same mentality. I'm focused on being able to lead. I was not a leader when I was married or when I was growing up. I was very meek. I think I learned that from my dad. He's very much, whatever you want to do, yeah, we'll just do that. And I was the same way in my marriage. I would always ask, what do you want for dinner? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do today? I was never able to lead. So that's one of the things that has really helped me improve my relationships, going forward. I feel like I've been able to lead on dates. I've been able to show them a good time. I'm able to lead and plan the dates, figure out where we're going, what time we're going to be there, where we're going to next. And I didn't realize it at the time because no one taught me, but that's something that women really appreciate. They want to be led. They don't want to have to think about all this stuff to do. That's what the man is for. He's supposed to be able to lead. He's supposed to be able to take care of any problems that arise. When I was married, if there was an issue with, the plumbing or something, I made it a big deal, like I couldn't figure it out. But as you just get experience, you learn that it is possible to figure stuff out. You just got to be a man and live up to the challenge. So now I'm now 40, I'm still going on, I'm still getting dates with girls that I really resonate with. They're younger than me, which I prefer. They're very attractive. They're my type. And this is not something I ever envisioned when I was 35 and divorced. So really, I guess the whole point of this video is just to show that it is possible, you know? It's not easy when you're going through it. It's not something maybe you've ever thought was possible, but you're capable of great things. The more you kind of envision what you want, the easier it is to live up to that or to start your path towards that. And you don't, I mean, just because you're 30, 35, 40, if you were like me, you might have thought you were too old, but that's just not the case. That's just a limiting belief that you have because it's new territory. You've never been there before. So it's something you just work through and you'll see what's possible. Now I'm very comfortable with dating. I've gone on plenty of dates to where I'm not worried if a girl likes me. I'm not worried if I'm gonna embarrass myself. Like, I know what I want. I know the kind of girls that I want. And that all just comes through practice and getting out there, being vulnerable. I'm much more vulnerable now. I'm much more emotionally secure with myself. I don't have the ego. I used to have an ego where if my wife would say something, complain a little bit, I would take that very personal and shut down. I would not talk to her for a few days just because I was upset. I was very immature. So, you know, just evolving and becoming a man, it takes emotional, you know, you got to be emotionally secure. You have to be able to get over things and to just push through. So I guess the point of this video is just how it's possible. You can still, if you're going through a divorce, I know a lot of guys are. It's never easy. I know how you feel. You're mixed about it. I know it was tough for me. I didn't want to get divorced, but I also did want to get divorced. I'm glad it finally ended. We had that hard ending. I would have taken her back because I was so low confidence and so in the I'll do anything for you mood, but thank God it was over, and now it gave me the opportunity to become a whole different man and have amazing dating experiences and to meet girls that I can see being with, that I actually resonate. There's no immediate red flags like there was in my previous relationships. I don't have to settle. So that's what this video is about, just to kind of tell you my journey, my story. Maybe it resonates with some of you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys have gone through, if you're just now going through a divorce in your 30s, or if you've gone through it before, or even if you're never been divorced, but you're struggling to get dates in your 30s. You know, it probably resolves around the same issues. So let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you next time.